Hello, friends. Have you experienced a relationship which is very difficult to be in, but equally difficult to get out of? Have you wondered why do we come across certain people? Why do we go on to form intense relationships with some of them? And some people just come and go out of our lives, and we only think of them as could have been, possibilities, this could have happened, that could have happened. But there are some who we could be connected for years and years, and it could be a relationship which is off and which is on, but never completely finished. It's like an unfinished business, always there. Why do we even meet certain people? Why do we even come across certain people? Why do we experience strongly for some people and not for others? And all of these questions are, I feel like, so interesting, and I've been asked these questions at various times, and I've explored these questions at various times with different people as we work through relationships with so many people who experience these difficulties. And for many, I can absolutely say to you, for many it seems that they are the only ones who face these problems, and everywhere else it is good. So one thing I will definitely say to you from my experience, that relationships are karmic. Who do we come across and who do we go on to spend a lot of time with, are connected, have this opportunity of something more happening, it is karmic. Imagine that there are many lives that we have lived in, and there are certain people we have met in many lives. If we are looking at everything being inside the soul, hidden from the conscious mind, don't you think if we look at them, we might remember and feel something like as if we have known these people forever, as if there is a feeling of comfort with them. It doesn't seem, even when we meet them for the first time, that they are not strangers. So, relationships, if we are meeting and spending some time with a person over a long period of time, they're always karmic. It is coming from many lives having lived together with them. That's one understanding that you can take. And then the other understanding is that the dynamic which is going to play out most times is based on the dynamics in the past lives. So karmic relationships will be of two kinds. One would be a supportive karmic relationship, there is a loving relationship, and a fairly, like if you map the graph of the relationship, not such highs and lows, and a fairly steady interaction over a period of time. There are other relationships which are karmic entanglements. These relationships, you'll meet that person, you would feel that instant chemistry, that instant connection, you would feel it's destined. You'd feel like, I'm sure this is the one. And it would start on a really high note. It would seem like the world has changed overnight after meeting these people. But the relationship itself will be marked by a lot of turmoil. There are going to be intense highs and lows. So the highs will be very high. You could be like more happy than you've ever been. How passionate you feel in this relationship, or the degree of intensity that you feel in that relationship. It might be like what you have never experienced before. But along with that, in the karmic entanglement, the lows are very low. So the amount of despair you can feel, the amount of frustration, the anger, the irritation, the sadness would also be as nothing like you've ever experienced in your life. So because the highs are so high, and because it is a relationship which has come from many lifetimes, these relationships are difficult to leave. But the lows being what they are, there would also be a constant need to get out of that relationship. So many times, like, people come to me for that purpose, and I've seen many people who would be struggling to quit a relationship, but it's like that drug which one might leave and then go back. So another hallmark of these kind of relationship is for you to self-diagnose yourself. Are you in one of them? One of the hallmarks also is that it could be very consuming in your life. It could like take up so much portion of your life. It might drain you energetically. It might leave you feeling very, very tired. So they would always take a disproportionate amount of space in your life. You might find that patterns from your previous relationship will come back and with a heightened intensity. So you might see yourself doing the same thing only in a worse way. It could bring out the worse in you and might even bring out the worse in another person also. So they would also not be able to live and experiencing the same kind of intensity, like feeling so good also, but feeling so bad also at the same time. So when we understand what is the basis of it, the way to get out of these relationships is to be able to understand the karmic interplay that is involved. It might involve coming to forgiveness for the person's actions, the words they have said in this lifetime, coming to an acceptance of them as the kind of people that they are in this lifetime. And acceptance doesn't mean always being with them. It could involve moving on, but moving on in peace. Many times, people who try to break apart from the other person, but from a feeling of a hatred, a feeling of anger towards them, they again gravitate back towards each other to repeat that pattern. There'd be some good, and then there will be this intense conflict that can arise every time they get together. So it's very important to let go of any anger, any resentment that we are holding against that person. These relationships are a great opportunity to learn about oneself. What are the qualities of you? What are the sides of you which come into play in that relationship? You can't just blame the other person that because of him I felt so angry, because of him I was so resentful. Also, it's good to look at oneself. So that relationship is giving you the opportunity to maybe look at the worst in you. And as important it is to come to the acceptance of this other person, it is equally important to come to acceptance of yourself. So when you look at yourself and when you look at yourself with peace, that yes, I was this and it's all right, but I have also within me all of the other sides, the sides which are born from acceptance and love and kindness and patience and loyalty and strength. All of the positive qualities are also there. And as I accept all of me, I can choose for myself what it is that I want to experience or want to be in any other relationship or even with this person. So the way to have a peaceful life is the way of letting go. It is not a way of holding on to anger and anguish. You might need to take the help of a therapist for that. You might take the help of a neutral friend for that. So when you're talking to a friend, but they're only adding to what you're already feeling anguished about, that's not helpful. So it's about like, I hate that person X, and okay, you can help me hate that person 2X. So you're only adding to the negative emotion. That's why better than talking to a friend, because they're going to feel for you, because they're attached to you and they cannot have that neutral perspective. It's better to talk to a therapist or a mentor who can just listen to you in a neutral way, who can give you a wider perspective. That, okay, that was this person's part and this was your part. And it's not that the other person is always forcing you. What are you getting out of that relationship that you continue to come back there? Right? So it's only when, so the deeper therapeutic work would be that what is within me that I need to heal, the wounds that are within me, maybe feeling unloved or feeling hurt or feeling abandoned. What are those wounds that I need to heal so that I can stop the addiction to this relationship? So that involves a deeper therapeutic work, maybe inner child work, maybe some past life regression, or maybe energy healings through family constellation. That is also extremely helpful and extremely easy to do. So, friends, do not think of these as problems. Do not think of this as something that you have to overcome. These are also very much a part of life. These are part of the scenery of the place that you are in. You cannot wish them out of your life. You are what you are because of these. So, accepting your past, accepting your present, and moving on with love. So, then you would find that life becomes much more harmonious, much more peaceful. You feel love within you, and you feel loved in whatever circumstances that you encounter in your life. So, hope this was helpful for you. Take care and stay happy. Thank you.